Foods, more than just a grocery store. Williams Foods has been serving communities since 1971. That is 45 years strong and counting. We are successful because we offer great service, great prices, fresh produce, and the best meat money can buy. Williams Foods is not just in your communities, we are a part of your community. We donate 1% back to any nonprofit organization, and we donate up to 6 cents per labels to anyone fundraising. Williams Foods, where we still sack and carry out your groceries for you because you deserve it.
There's a few things we live by in Oklahoma: honesty, integrity, and hard work. At Triton Foundation Repair, if you don't need foundation repair work, we will be the company that tells you, because when you do need it, we want to be the company that doesn't. Honesty, integrity, and hard work. Triton Foundation Repair.
Al's Heat and Air is a proud supporter of the Tuttle Tigers. Serving the Tuttle area for almost 40 years, we work on all makes and models. As a trained comfort specialist, we sell the best and service the rest. Al's Heat and Air, 405-381-3602.
Looking for the perfect way to satisfy your barbecue cravings? Look no further. We welcome everyone to enjoy our mouth-watering barbecue made with love and care. With a kids menu and outdoor patio, we have something for all ages. Come for the barbecue, stay for the good times with family and friends.
At Ortho Central, we're committed to making your life better. Whether it's getting you back to the sport you love, chasing after grandkids, or easing chronic pain. With locations in Norman, Midwest City, and Newcastle. Ortho Central, we're part of your team.
Over the years, a lot has changed. Thankfully, in Tuttle, a few things have stayed the same. The people here are still the best, the school's teams are always competitive, and Williams Plumbing Service is still serving the community. For all your plumbing needs, call Williams Plumbing Service. One family serving Tuttle since 1949. Thank you, Tuttle, and go Tigers.
Where you call home is important, and when things break, who you call to fix that home is also important. When it comes to heat and air needs, local matters. Bo Kokenauer of Koch's Mechanical knows that, and that's why Koch's Mechanical takes pride in serving the community he calls home.
Need your AC service? Let our dad serve you.
At Tactical Pest Solutions, we prevent pests from taking over. Our defense will give you peace of mind, keeping your home or business safe from pesky bugs or creepy crawlers. Our tactical approach proactively treats your spaces before high-traffic pest season. Make an appointment today, even if you haven't seen indications of bugs or pests, so we can play defense for your home team. Give us a call and let's keep your home or business free of what's bugging you. Tactical Pest Solutions. We can beat the bugs to the punch.
Whether you just came from a workout or you're just out and about, our Social Sips have everything you need to feel good to feel good. Here at Social, we have a variety of teas, shakes, social bowls, or you can even try one of our cold brew coffees, made with you in mind. At Mustang Social and Hometown Social, it's always tea time.
Turn that off. All right, welcome to the playoff preview show. I'm Coach Brett Draper alongside Adrian Avalar here. Head coach Brad Ballard and Luke Falwell joining us today. Our first show of the year. We decided to start it up during the playoffs, so make sure my phone's on silent here so we don't have any interruptions. Welcome, guys. It's been a good year so far. A busy year, and I think you got a quarter of your season left, right? That's what we hope to do. So,
yes, sir.
Coach Ballard in his 17th season here at Tuttle, 110-23.
11th.
11th season.
17th
total.
Season. Yeah.
I'm sorry, 17th total season coaching, 11th in total.
27th. I've been coaching 27 seasons. Yeah. Man, you're killing me. I'm 52 years old.
Head coach for 17 years.
11.
That's it?
Yep, 11.
All right. Well, either way.
That's all right, man. I've been going worse. I promise.
Coach Ballard, 110 and 23, your record here at Tuttle. Winning 110 games in the 11 years you've been here. I mean, that's a pretty good average of 10 right there. And then you guys are Luke and Adrian in your 4 years, 41-4 over that 4 year span and 45 games. And not a lot of guys can say they've only lost 4 games in 4 years. That's a pretty stout accomplishment. So hats off to you guys. Adrian here on the season, 95 tackles, 7 sacks, 12 for a loss. Luke, 85 tackles, 6 for a loss, and then an INT. And I'm giving him a forced fumble last week's game. They may not have given it to him during the game, but we saw it on the Hotworks Mustang replay. So we're going to take a look at last week real quick. And Coach Ballard, you guys got off to a hot start, 20 points in the first 2 quarters. Talk a little bit about that start of the game.
It was a great start. Came out, completed a few short ones. Took what the defense gave us. Very efficient on offense. Mixed the run and the pass. Special teams started good. Executed. Got in the end zone. Got some stops. Defense was really, really stingy in that first quarter. Don't know that they had very many yards or first downs in that first quarter. So important for us to get started like that and turn the tables on people as quickly as we can.
Yeah, total plays 52-50, and typically a lot of these games we've played where you guys have only played that first half of the ball game, a lot of times the opponents ran more plays than we have, just simply because the younger cats are in there against their older guys. But tonight, that game we had more plays ran than they did, so thought the younger guys did a pretty good job staying in the game against their varsity, and outgained them 329 to 104. Passed it for 177. They passed it for 9. That's usually going to be a good day. 152 on the ground. Had a big night from Brownsville. 14-6 in the first downs, and then it's been key all year, but 2-1 on the turnover margin. Campbell was 10 of 14, 177, 3 touchdowns. Brownsville, 13 carries, 118 yards, 2 touchdowns. McAdoo, 4 catches and a touchdown, 41 yards receiving. Kendall had 2 catches, 47 yards and a touchdown. Jalen Lane, a catch and an interception. That catch went for 39 yards and a score up to seam. And then Adrian Avalar, 11 tackles last week, 2 for a loss, had a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, first one.
Big running back guy.
Deuces.
That's right. Falwell came to with 7 tackles, and then Tyrese Gonzalez, 7 tackles as well. So that's a look at last week. We're going to check out Coach Ballard to kind of go through some of these replays here. Our first replay, Adrian, take us through that play, your tackle for loss, as it's probably showing right now, but that tackle for loss in the backfield.
On that play, we ran a blitz with me and Luke at linebacker, and we call it fire, and we go down and blitz in the A gap, and we went through, and I was the only one left open, and made the play.
You got him.
Yeah,
you got him. Next one, Cruz Campbell to Kendall. Coach Ballard talked about that. It looked like the whole defense for Hera went with CJ to the middle of the field.
Yeah, they have a tendency to follow CJ and Brady a little bit.
Yeah.
So those other guys usually get a little space here and there, and Cruz stepping up and finding Zarian. Zarian's been a big player for us, and it's raining. There's all kinds of reasons why that can't happen, and it happens. So those two executed well and get the points, man. A big one.
Yep. Cruz Campbell to Brady McAdoo on a screen pass. Will Garrett motioning over, shielding him into the end zone. I thought, it's one of those plays you don't really have to block him to get in the way of him, and it springs him free. Then Campbell had the throw to McAdoo down the seam, and Brady sliding in the middle of the field, making a catch. A little bit behind him, but, like you said, mentioned the weather.
That's a Brady play.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Brownsville on the ground, I think, is our next one. And 2-yard score, I believe, from up close with the diamond formation. Getting after him up front. It's all big Cale Harriman up there blowing some people off.
Oh, yeah.
He's really come along.
Big Grizz has come a million miles. He gets better every day, and his confidence is getting better every day. So important for those young guys to keep developing. Fifth point of the season, we need them all.
That's right. Next one, CJ Simon, a long catch and run. And we talked about this off the air, I think, last week. But, man, it's been a lot of CJ's catches have been over somebody's head and wide open. We kind of got to see a little bit of the smoke right there in the open field and what he can do with the ball in his hands.
He's got some quickness. He's got some pop to him. Got some moves. He's very shifty. But he's been the guy to knock the top off the defense for us most of the time this year. And then when people back off, he does have the ability to do those kind of things, and it's exciting. And he was probably laughing the entire time he was doing it. He's giggling all the time.
He auctioned off a lot of items at the
That was awesome.
Meet Your Tiger the other night, auctioneering. His first night on the job there. Cruz Campbell to Zarian. This one, he kind of kept that play alive, stepped towards the line, and made a good throw in some elements and hit Zarian in the back of the end zone.
Great job of keeping the play alive. Zarian working hard to get back across, and it's one of those off-schedule plays just a little bit that the guys have to continue and finish the play. And Cruz always does a good job keeping his eyes downfield and again, execute. It's raining. Who cares? Nobody cares.
Yep.
You got to go play and execute, and those two did it. It was great.
This one here, the long Sean Roundsville run off the left side, and I looked back on that film, and you see Whitey's effort. He gets up to that second level and is blocking a safety and seals it off, and before the guy can even turn around, Brownsville's gone and down the sideline. And I thought that was as cool as Sean's run, really, his effort and all those guys up front.
Anytime he goes somewhere untouched, it has to do with those linemen. Most of the time, if you don't hear lineman's name, it's a good thing. But Sean likes to cut things back quite a bit, and he really stretched that one out, put his foot in the ground, and then accelerated. And that's one of his longer runs in a while. So really proud of all those guys. Tandon's been a rock for us all year. So, we've run the ball successfully when we needed to run the ball. And the other night we had some things we needed to do and wanted to do, and we're able to do so. And then Sean busts one like that after getting the 3s and 4s. He finally gets to bust one. So, and then the receivers keeping people off of him helps too. So.
Sure. Interception here. Jalen Lane takes over the route, goes in high points. The thing is almost like a jump ball, but he was running the route, it looked like to me.
He does a great job of that. Very good technique. And hey, when you got these guys going to pressure the Q and D linemen where they belong and we get to cover, it sure makes it nice when people can't stand there and hold the ball for 5 or 6 seconds and pick us apart. The DB's got to be in phase and ready to go. And these guys force a bad throw, and he's right there to get it.
Everybody's favorite moment of the night for Deuce here. Adrian, talk about the little underneath handoff into the end zone.
It was a play that we worked on, during the week, and we got a shot at it, and I just was making sure I had to score it.
Yeah, you were the second chance.
Yeah, there was no way.
It's
one shot.
You would have had to put the old tailback in, right, Luke?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm retired now.
He's retired.
You never know. You never know.
And then the last one, Campbell to Jalen Lane. Again, those guys on the outer half. And I think, I can't remember who it was that went across the middle of the field. I think it was his brother, Jordan, comes across the middle, and then the verticals got him up for the seam. So just wide open there. Cruz put it on him.
Again, just taking what the defense gives you. We were in a trip set, and that was the space they left us, and Cruz did a good job of finding it and letting it go on time. And again, just executing those plays. Everybody was worried about the rain and those kind of things. And gosh, if you throw and catch every day and practice those things every day, it really doesn't matter. It's the same for everyone. So I was happy for those guys.
Season stats on here for you. Go down these pretty quickly, but total yards for Tuttle, 3,680. Opponents at 2,073. Pass yards, had a really good season through the air, 2,328 yards to opponents 1,005. 233 yards a game through the air. We've thrown it efficiently. 65% is efficient, and that's everybody, but it's across the board. Pretty much all your quarterbacks except for McAdoo is 65%. That's pretty good. Pass touchdowns 33 to 2, and that's the one. That's my favorite stat, and I think it's a testament to how explosive you guys can be and through the air, but more impressive the 2 on defense. Luke, talk a little bit about that defensive pressure you guys put and making it hard on guys to get in the end zone through the air.
Well, hats off to Limo because he always has a great game plan coming into our weeks. So, we just go out there and we simply just do our job. We execute what he tells us to do, and I mean, if you're getting blocked, there's probably a dude wide open to make a tackle. So everybody just does their part in our defense, and we have fun while we do it. So
That's the way to do it.
yeah.
Rush yards, 1,352. After a slower start defensively on the run game, it took us about 4 games to catch back up on this graphic we update every week, but you guys have taken a pretty commanding lead, and a lot of this yardage comes later in games that you guys are not on the field to tackle anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
rush touchdowns, 24-8. Third down percentage, Coach Ballard, that's been pretty good this year. Almost 40% good at third downs and fourth downs, even a little bit better. So opponents 27-35, and then the turnovers. Talk about that stuff.
Oh gosh, my eyes are always
Third
drawn to the
down.
turnovers.
Just start, yeah.
But third down, of course, is a big one for us, and we're just more efficient in the pass game than we've been. We have a few more bullets in our gun than we've had in the past as far as throwing and catching the ball, and some guys that can do some different things. And then Cruz, of course, giving him the keys to it at times and letting him find and pick. He really has a knack for that. He studies the game. He's a student of the game, and so I think there's a lot of things that go into that, but also protection. And the guys have gotten better every week at protecting the quarterback, and we're going to have to continue to do that if we expect to win ball games.
Well, and I think the O-line's really given you guys a boost, because there's been situations where you guys have had to run the football. Everybody knew you were running the football, and you're still able to do that with a heavier box on defense. And I think that's been a real testament to your guys up front. It's not always about how big and bulky you are and strong. It's about that technique and working as a unit. And that's the thing that's been most impressive to me is figuring out that group, and then that group really just flourishing through the years.
100%. And it's a constant progression. It's a constant process. We watch film on a weekend and there's something they keep messing up. Well, we have to fix that. And, once you fix that, something moves on the defensive line, or there's a different front that you're going to face. So it's always evolving, always moving, but our guys have handled it well. Coach Brand does a really good job with them. There's a lot of consistency. There's a lot of learning. I think their technique from day one, from stance, steps, everything is much more consistent than it's been. And those guys have done an excellent job up there.
We'll go to the playoff bracket right before we head to the commercial break. We'll talk about this playoff bracket real quick. Obviously, you guys have a chance to. You guys don't like to look ahead of things, and you're not supposed to, but I get to. And so, first round, home matchup. Second round, if you win, you get to play at home again. Is that the motivation for you, Coach B, is getting to play another game at home?
Always. I mean, we talk about it as a team all the time. I mean, you've really got 3 goals. Your first one is to get in.
Mhm.
Your second one is to play at home, and then after that, it's win the last one. I mean, that's what we're after. That's what we've talked about. They know that. We speak about it. But you don't talk about winning the last one until you do enough work and have a good enough body of work and have earned the right to talk about those things. So we don't spend a lot of time in the off season talking about the end product. We're trying to be the best version of us and get ourselves in a position to do those kind of things. So, all we have in our mind is we play Elk City here Friday night, and we're going to be ready to play football right here at home under these lights. And that's where these guys love it, in front of their friends and families. And we're really looking forward to it.
You guys got Elgin and Blanchard and Wagner on the other side of the bracket. Luke, how do you guys not look at this thing and say, we got it made in the shade? It's not. It's playoff football. Anything can happen. What do you guys got to do to make sure you keep that mentality as a group?
I mean, we just got to keep getting our work in every day and just improving on our craft. And we just got to look at it like, hey, I mean, regular season, that was a thing. We went 10-0, but playoff is pretty much a whole new season. So we got to look at it. We're 0-0 right now. So we still got a lot to improve. So we just got to go out there and be 1-0.
You're right. Adrian, real quick, before we head to break, talk a little bit about this place, this new stadium, Chad Richardson Stadium, and how You go from one stadium to another throughout your career, one locker room to another, weight room to another. Talk about a little bit about what it's like playing here
when
on Friday nights.
When you go from an outhouse to the palace,
The
man,
penthouse.
it's a big difference.
Yeah.
I think it makes a big difference for the team, being in a very more comfortable space and a bigger place, and having a place to eat and chill anytime we want to. And then just coming out here and just seeing bigger stands, and then just see a whole bunch of fans, it makes a big difference, I think.
Well, we're expecting a big crowd here. We hope everybody comes out Friday night. We're going to take a quick commercial break here on Tiger TV on the playoff preview show. We'll be right back.
Country Equipment Rentals is the spot for all the tools to help you get those projects done. Whether it's a power washer, jackhammer, stump grinder, or tiller, or if you need something a little bigger like a tractor and brush hog, skid steer, excavator, or even a bulldozer, Country Equipment Rentals is the place to go.
At Jamie Joe's, our burgers are handmade with 100% pure beef. From our grill to your table, you'll love every bite. Jamie Joe's, half-price burgers all day Monday.
At Contemporary Family Dentistry, our core values are the heart of our Big Little practice since 2008. Our friendly and professional staff are here to ensure your experience at the dentist is a positive one. Does going to the dentist cause you anxiety? No worries. We offer IV sedation for all procedures and your comfort. We are open Monday through Friday at our Newcastle location and now also in Blanchard.
Where you call home is important, and when things break, who you call to fix that home is also important. When it comes to heat and air needs, local matters. Bo Kokenauer of Koch's Mechanical knows that, and that's why Koch's Mechanical takes pride in serving the community he calls home.
Need your AC serviced? Let our dad serve you.
The First National Bank and Trust Company presents to you the Tuttle Team Spirit Card. We proudly serve more than 20 area schools and have donated more than $82,000 in 2023. So, what are you waiting for? Support your Tuttle Tigers and make every transaction count. Come by the bank to get your Team Spirit Card today at no cost to you. The First National Bank and Trust Company. Member FDIC.
At Tactical Pest Solutions, we prevent pests from taking over. Our defense will give you peace of mind, keeping your home or business safe from pesky bugs or creepy crawlers. Our tactical approach proactively treats your spaces before high-traffic pest season. Make an appointment today, even if you haven't seen indications of bugs or pests, so we can play defense for your home team. Give us a call and let's keep your home or business free of what's bugging you. Tactical Pest Solutions. We can beat the bugs to the punch.
All right, we're back here on the playoff preview show here with Coach Ballard, Luke Falwell, and Adrian Avalar. Going to get to the opponent real quick. Elk City coming into town, Coach B, and a little unconventional in some of the schemes they do, and kind of sometimes it can kind of give you fits if you're not disciplined in your structure on defense, and they trying to slow the game down and keep the ball out of our hands, I'm sure. Talk a little bit about how those schemes and those kind of opponents, and a little bit about Elk City.
Elk City, their head coach is Zach Maynard. Coach Maynard played at Davis back when they were really rolling. I actually got to coach against him when he was a player at Davis. So
you're old.
Yeah, I told you I'm old. Got a lot of respect for him. He's one of the guys that I talk to in the off season. Just someone I like spending time with and talking to. But they'll be hard nosed. They're not going to do a whole bunch on defense. They're going to look like a 3-4 most of the time. They're going to run what they run, and they're going to run it extremely well. They're going to be physical, and they're going to play hard. Offensively speaking, they've been in the wing tee the last several games. They do have a quarterback that can throw it, and they have a pretty good receiver out there that they split out quite a bit. You'll see them in some 2-receiver sets. You'll see them in some over sets that look like wishbone a little bit. You'll see base run plays. You'll see end arounds. You'll see buck sweep looking stuff. You'll see a little bit of play action passing and some tight end flips and some motion. There's just a little bit of everything inside of there. But for us, it's about lining up right. We feel like if we line up correctly and have our eyes where they belong, we've got a chance to be successful on defense. And you've heard these guys talk about it. It's not a one-man show. It's got to be, your rear end has to be in that gap. Your eyes need to be right here. And this is how we react. And these guys have done such a good job of not being selfish players on defense. If you get a really good player on defense that's selfish, it can make things bad in a hurry. We really rely on one another as a defense, as a whole. And we rely on each other to be where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. And these guys all understand that it works together in the big picture of things. So, hey, we've just got to line up. And that's what we've done over and over and over the last several days. And it's what we'll continue to do tomorrow. Line up, get your eyes where they belong, and fly. And that's what these guys have done well. I've been very, very proud of them.
Adrian, talk a little bit about your keys to kind of how you go get a
I think
win.
my keys fit my gaps well, and it's just making everybody else right. So if I don't make the tackle and I get blocked, someone else can, and I'm filling the gap so someone else can make it. I think it's just all about being in our positions with the wing tee. It's a little bit different, but we can do it.
Luke, yours?
I mean, we've seen the wing tee this year. Tecumseh ran it, and so did Ardmore. So, I mean, we got a little experience with it, but I feel like Elk City is more efficient with it and what they do. So we just got to be more physical in this game and just play our roles and not get caught looking at other things. You just got to keep your eyes on your key, nobody else's.
No doubt. Coach B, talk a little bit about, these guys are a little older, but you've got guys that are all ages in your program, and it's week 10, and there's some of those guys that don't necessarily, maybe they're just getting scout team beat up every day, or they're like, well, I might get to go to basketball, wrestling soon. Those thoughts. How do you keep all that wrangled in as you head into the playoffs outside of telling them, boys, we get to play for a state title? Because as we know, sometimes attention spans grow away. And so talk a little bit about your staff and kind of what you're preaching to these guys. And I'm sure these older guys are echoing it through the program.
Well, I think the majority of that falls on these guys. The old guys, that locker room is going to be what these old guys want it to be. I call you old, sorry. These older guys want it to be. I don't think we have a lot of that. This team from the very start has been a good practicing team. They enjoy playing football. There's days you go through a season from August until, almost December here right now, and there's days you're not going to like it. It's going to be hot. It's going to hurt. The coaches are on your rear end all the time, but these guys have found a way to practice. They get their work done, and they know that if they'll get their work done, and I know they know what they're doing, I'll let them go. We'll go home. But you have to show us that you got your eyes where they belong, and you know what we expect. And these guys understand that. They know the expectation of being a Tuttle Tiger. They know the expectation of our program, and it's their job to show the young kids the expectation. So, as far as the young guys go, Lord, they've lived a charmed life. I mean, we've been able to get them, and
they've got more playing time than anybody.
They've got to play a lot. I mean, we started in the second quarter last week, subbing a little bit, and then at halftime, we went strictly JV and had JV special teams, everything out there. So the best part about having a good team and getting to do those things is you see your second tier player develop and get better and get better and get better. So when someone needs a break, those guys have seen the game. They've been in on Friday nights. You could get them in the game. Case in point, the other night, the official didn't like Luke's knee pads.
Yeah, Carter Van
Eyck, he goes in and he makes the play. He gets in on the tackle. 4 months ago, he ain't ready to do that.
Yeah.
He's not. And he went in, lined up, Adrian told him, "You better." I don't anyway, it's just things like that. I mean, you see us getting the sub guys in or getting to play. If there's 3 cornerbacks or 2 cornerback spots out there, you better have 3 dudes that can play it. If there's 2 linebacker spots, you better have 3 dudes that can play it. And until that depth develops and that second level player becomes ready for Friday night, you can't do it. It's going to take every one of us if we could keep playing football for several more weeks. It's going to take all of us. They know it. The young guys know it. The young guys have bought in. And if not, these old guys will make sure that they buy in. So we've been real fortunate. We have it's a good locker room. They have fun. Anytime I walk through, there's usually loud music and there's somebody laughing or making fun of someone. It's a lot of fun, and they do that at practice. They enjoy practice, and there's times you can't enjoy practice because we got to make it harder than you want it to be.
Yeah.
But these guys always respond. Anytime I've asked them for more at practice, they give us more, and that's the mark of a good team, and that's why we're still playing and talking about it.
And you guys were on the other end of that, Adrian and Luke. You guys have been those scout team dummy O's and dummy D's, right? How's it been to But you guys probably can have some conversations with those younger guys about how important that is because you see it every day, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about being a scout team as a freshman there.
I mean, so I had to go up against Paris Terry, Gunnar Kerr, CJ Connor, Dylan Cummings, all them big dogs. And I just remember taking my first snap at running back because that's when I played running back. And Paris Terry just threw me to the ground real easy. So I know it's hard being a scout team guy, and you're kind of getting bullied out there, but you just got to look at it like, hey, I mean, if you're playing the starters of our team, you're getting better because we got good guys out there too. So you just got to look at it like that, and you also got to be a team player and work as hard as you can because if you do that, then you're getting our guys better as well and giving them a better look for the game.
For sure. Adrian, talk a little bit about we talked about those younger guys getting into some of these games early and getting a lot of playing time. It's also it protects you guys a little bit too.
Yeah, I think that with them going in, and I think it's big for them just to see what varsity is like, and somebody getting in, even though it's not the best teams,
they're playing another varsity team.
Yeah, it's another varsity team, and we get out of their first second quarter, halftime, and there's no telling what could happen if we played the full game, injuries or anything.
Sure.
So staying out, getting out early when we can it's just smarter. It's just safer and smarter.
Good. Coach B, talk about a little bit about, we can talk about stats, Cruz Campbell's thrown for a bunch of yards, Sean Roundsville's ran for a bunch of yards, we got a bunch of tackles, we've returned some touchdowns, and kickoff's been good, but talk about the 10-0 components of going undefeated in the regular season. I know that part of the season's over, but reflect a little bit about, your staff, your schemes, the guys, and keeping from being overconfident, stress that goes along with it, all those things.
I think any program organization that wants consistency or wants to model consistency, which we have, it has to be about your process. What do you do this time of year? What do you do on Monday? What do you do on Tuesday? What do you do on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? I think as long as these guys come out and treat Mondays the way Mondays should be, Tuesdays the way Tuesdays should be, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. We have to have those things in order and those things in line. And then when the right group and the right mix of kids comes along, it allows you to be successful and have a season like we're having. But make no mistake about it, if you're going to go undefeated in the regular season, there's trials, there's tribulations, there's days that things don't go well. And credit to these guys, they found a way to work through all of those. As far as our staff goes, there is no ego on our staff, and there is no, hey, it wasn't my idea, I'm not going to do it kind of stuff on our staff.
I got to play in there.
Yeah, you did. Hey, yeah. Listen, if they work, we love them. So, I'm so proud of those because that's hard for a group of adults as well. Case in point, we go to Guthrie and we don't play very well on defense. we're sitting there Saturday morning looking at each other like, hey, I don't know that this really fits what we have right now. What do we have? And our guys coming together and saying, this puts everybody in the best spot. What do you think? And then everybody marinating on it for a day and then coming back on Sundays. Hey, we all agree. So being in a room full of grown men that don't have an ego and just want the kids to be successful and they don't care whose idea it is, that's hard too. That's really hard to find. But I'm so proud of all the coaches. We have co-offensive coordinators with Coach Shoup and Coach Brand, and both.
They do a lot better job than Sooners.
I fired last year's offensive coordinator. I did.
Down to one.
He was awful. But anyway, that was me.
Yeah,
by the
Coach
way.
Howard is
Anyway,
offensive coordinator
that's
last year,
funny.
so-
But that's okay, man. My job is to try to steer this program and make it better every year. And if that means there needs to be a change, and if I felt that in my heart, that's what I'm going to do. And it just so happened I could get two people that I've known Coach Shoup for years. It was one of my best friends, one of my coaching buddies I always called, and he was out of it for a while. And I've called him every year in December and say, hey, you ready? And he said, Coach, I'm all right. Well, I called him twice this year. And the second time he said yes. And then Coach Brand, man, is so fortunate. A friend of mine that I've known forever called me about Coach Brand. And I was like, yeah, get him over here. Let's visit. And I mean, I knew from the first time I met him that I wanted to work with him. And but again, two grown men getting together, not having any ego. They could care less who gets credit or calls plays. They want the Tuttle Tigers to win. And when we have a room full of coaches like that, then our locker room's going to be like that.
Sure.
And that's where we're at. It was this season was so wild. We probably had more people move to Tuttle in the wintertime and springtime than we've ever had. But every time someone would come in and visit with me when they get here, I was like, listen, if you're going to be here, all you have to do is go to work. If you'll be quiet and go to work, our kids will accept you.
Yeah.
If you talk a lot and you don't work, they're not going to accept you. And every one of the young men that moved here has made our team better because they came in with an attitude of earning a place and wanting to work hard.
Yeah.
And that's why all of these guys gelled with them, accepted them, locked arms with them, and went to battle with them. And I was concerned about that. That's something new, and I'm proud of every one of them. And I'm especially proud. You look at these two right here, and I know they're just the two sitting with me, but every day, what people don't see is Monday through Thursday, all winter long, I would see these dudes. Every morning before the sun came up, I'd see them. And then in the afternoon, we'd get some more. They did everything. Both of these guys are much better than they were a year ago because they decided they wanted to be. And they put in the hours, the work, the effort, the learning. They took responsibility as a player to play their role better than anybody else can. And it makes everybody around them better. They've made a ton of tackles, but every time I hear them talk, they talk about the D-line doing their job.
I need some more excitement out of y'all. I need some headlines. I think it's been a cool year. We've gotten to visit with a bunch of the guys after games and talking, and that's been the really cool part is just hearing them all. Everybody, it's about the guys. Hey, I want to give a shout out to this guy for doing his job so that I could get recognized. And, I mentioned it's so cool to see a guy like CJ Simon who's electric, and he's caught a bunch of passes, and every time Brady catches a punt, he is trying to hit people in the mouth, and he's working downfield. He's running around people trying to get blocks, and it's very typical and routine for big-time kind of players to hang out on punt return if they don't get the ball, especially if they don't punt it to them, And so I think that's been a positive move as well as far as those guys that have come in. They've really taking it up a notch, not just being here and being part of it. It feels like they've really, from an outsider's perspective, gone above and beyond. And I think that's kind of what's carried you guys.
But that's because of the culture that the guys that were already here have set.
Yeah, absolutely.
They wanted to be a part of this program and this tradition because of what these guys have all done before them. And they know about it, hear about it, and want to be a part of it. And that's credit to all the guys that have been here. And then credit for those guys to come in and work. It takes a village to have a football team. Everywhere from resources, administration, parents, booster clubs, everything. People have no idea what all goes into having a successful program, making sure these guys get fed the night before, the day of, all those things. And we have an excellent village in Tuttle, Oklahoma.
You're right. Great place to coach. I experienced it on the other side of the diamond over down the street, but it's just an awesome community, and we got awesome kids. Both these guys grew up in the middle school program. Luke was a switch hitter,
Yeah.
and he said, "I'm gonna get swole and I'm gonna wrestle. I'm gonna
Yeah.
tackle people." So I said, "All right, go for it, brother."
Yeah.
So we'll be back after a quick commercial break with our last segment here, and we'll talk about some of that stuff they were eating next on the playoff preview show.
Stay ahead of the curve and keep your small engines running right this off-season. At Simmer Sales and Service, we have you covered. Bring your equipment over for a full winter tune-up or repair. Our full-service shop is ready for you just 2 miles east of Tuttle. We're locally and family-owned. You'll leave saying, Simmer, good people.
Life is complex enough. With decades of experience, Cornerstone Insurance Group makes insurance simple. We can help with coverage for your home, farm, or ranch, coverage for all the drivers, cars, and equipment in and around your house, coverage for your business, large or small, life insurance to give you peace of mind. Call or stop by today, and one of our experienced, licensed agents will shop dozens of insurance companies for you, saving you time and money. Call our office or visit us online at oklahomainsured.com.
As a mama, you're constantly pulled in every direction. HotWorks is where you get to hit pause. Sweat out the stress as you recenter in just 30 minutes. You deserve this.
How long's it been since you had pizza? I mean good pizza. Piping hot, cheesy pizza that'll make your mouth water. At the Pizza Shop, we make old school pizza at old school prices. The Pizza Shop, 410 East Main, Tuttle. Looking for the perfect way to satisfy your barbecue cravings? Look no further. We welcome everyone to enjoy our mouth-watering barbecue made with love and care. With a kids menu and outdoor patio, we have something for all ages. Come for the barbecue, stay for the good times with family and friends.
Country Equipment is your locally owned full-service dealer of Kubota, Polaris, Skag, and Hustler equipment. Whether it's for 2 or 200 acres, Country Equipment has the Kubota tractor and attachments to help you get the job done. Country Equipment carries a full line of trimmers, blowers, chainsaws, and more from top brands like Echo and Steel. Mowers from brands like Kubota, Hustler, and Skag are sure to keep your place looking great all year round. Plus a full parts and service department for all the brands we carry. Come see us today at your locally owned Country Equipment.
Whether you just came from a workout or you're just out and about, our Social Sips have everything you need to feel good to feel good. Here at Social, we have a variety of teas, shakes, social bowls, or you can even try one of our cold brew coffees, made with you in mind. At Mustang Social and Hometown Social, it's always tea time.
All right, welcome back to the playoff preview show here on Tiger TV. I forgot to mention, Eli, my partner, Pagel, was supposed to be joining us here. He got sent out to South Texas on a plane and said, hey, you're on your own. So, yeah, you better be. I'm sure he is. He's pretty tuned in.
He's not flying commercial either.
No, he's big time.
That's awesome.
He is on that teacher salary. So,
I love it.
But Luke, talk a little bit about your growth over the 4 years you've been here. You talked a little bit about it earlier, but being a freshman, that really that's the first thing that hits you in the face when you become a high school student is football is before the classroom. And so you guys walking in, Luke started off, but talk about over that 4 years, kind of where you started and where you're kind of at now.
Well, I mean, started my freshman year. I was just playing freshman ball and got some JV reps too. And then sophomore years, like kind of went it all. Like that's where I got my experience from, was from spring practice. And that's when I started I was focused at linebacker, and then I remember one day Ballard was like, "Hey Luke, come run the ball." So I went over and ran the ball. He's like, "Oh, I like you." So so that my sophomore year, I actually got to run the ball.
Well, we had some injuries, and you were, I mean, you
Yeah,
ended up being the featured guy for a while.
Yeah, and then because Woodson,
Yeah.
he was credit to him, he was a really good back, but he just dealt with his ACL, so he just kept getting hurt. But I played running back, then I actually got hurt. I think it was like kind of towards the end of the season, I got a concussion, and then we finished the year out, and my junior year, Ballard was like, "Hey, like." You'll be better on defense for us. So, I was like, well, that's fine as long as I get to play.
Yeah.
So I went to defense, and turns out I like it more than offense because it's fun. So
Yeah.
you just get that. So, yeah, I like defense a lot.
They're like the Batch Brothers on Mighty Ducks. It's just hitting defense all the time. You love it.
I was thinking more like Step Brothers.
Not Step Brothers. I know these knuckleheads since I've been here. They were, I think, seventh graders when I got here, and got to watch them grow up and watch their knucklehead moments, and then watch their grown up moments, and the maturity that goes along with it. Coach B is incredible. We all coach guys that they start here, and then you look at them and you're like, I can't even tell you how many times I'm proud I am of you. So it happens all the time. These are two guys that are guys that have exemplified that and grown up a bunch, and really good people. Adrian, talk a little bit about your, walking in the doors to Tuttle and now.
Well, walking in the doors, I came here my sixth grade year. I didn't play for any football till I guess seventh grade year, and I was on the line my seventh grade year. Then eighth grade year, I was a linebacker, and I got to high school, and freshman year was I still played a little bit of linebacker, but I was on scout team a lot, and I got pretty beat up. And then sophomore year, it all changed, and I realized I had opportunity to start on the D line. I made a switch to the D line, and had an opportunity to start down there. So I think that's what made me really mature, is realizing that I could be a big help on this team. And then played that, did the same thing my junior year, and then I made a switch over to linebacker my senior year this year, and it's been going really well. So it's been great.
I'd say it's not been bad.
Yeah, it's been good. You're my best friend, so.
School record is for like block punts in a career, but
I think I do own it.
He's got like 46.
He's got it everywhere.
And Adrian, going back to you for this one, your favorite Thursday meal that you guys do? You guys have pregame team meal after practice on Thursday.
The one and only steak, man.
So what do you have with the steak? Is it just the meat?
It's the steak and potatoes, man. It's the potato. It's usually a big old loaded potato, and the steak's always. This year it's been really on point every single time. And
Mr. Champion cooks for him on Thursday night, and Mr. McAdoo.
Mr. Dean.
He does
See,
not
McAdoo hires it out. He don't do any cooking, but he hires the right guy.
That's not what he says, though.
Well, Luke, your favorite your Thursday meal?
Obviously the steak. I mean, shout out Mr. Champion and Brad McAdoo for helping or cooking. Brad,
whatever it is, he's making it happen.
Yeah. And then we got the potatoes with it. Mind you, these potatoes are huge. I don't know where they get them from.
Biggest potatoes I've ever
I think it's the Cobb Farm. They grow special potatoes.
They got something
I don't know what they do.
It's been the talk of the team. They're giant.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah. But then you also get the sour cream and the cheese. And shout out Tyrese. He put us on. He put some beans in their potato, and it's actually pretty good.
I believe it. He's
Tyrese.
He's learned a few more tricks than you guys.
Yeah,
he's been off and then came back.
He matured.
He's seen a lot of things.
He's done some big things. So.
Your favorite, Luke, go stay with you. Your favorite football tradition at Tuttle. What's the favorite thing tradition-wise that you love about our school or our program here?
I mean, it's hard to just say one thing, but I'd probably just say the bus ride. Every home game, you got your gear on, you go on the bus over at the middle school, and we drive over, get a police escort, and then once we turn at the stoplight, we all strap up,
yeah,
and then you get out, you walk into Welcome to the Jungle, and the fans are going crazy, the lights are going crazy. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty intense bus ride, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet it is. Your favorite tradition? You got to pick something different than the bus ride.
Goodness gracious.
I think another thing that I could go with is I know every team does it, and I'm gonna call it my tradition. A tradition. I think when before and after a game, when he speaks, the after game speech and the before game speech, I think that's what really gets me going. I love hearing it. So I think that's probably my favorite tradition ever since I've been here. Is just hearing his speeches and yeah,
get you going.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Luke, I want you to talk. We always say, and we're going to be a little selfish here, whether you like it or not. Like, I want you to talk about what you bring to the table every day when you compete. What's the best things? What makes Luke fall well, and what do you do to impact this team? What do you bring to the table?
You know I hate talking about myself.
I know.
I mean, I think I'm just a hard worker, I feel like I do a good job of pushing my teammates, all those guys. And I don't know, I feel like I mean, I might joke around with Adrian and them, but I feel like I'm humble. So, but that just comes from my family, the man above. They all made me who I am today, my coaches, my teachers, everybody that supports me out there, I mean, that's a big reason of why I am who I am today. So
I also like your mustache.
yeah, I finally started growing facial hair. Yeah. It's kind of blonde. People say, yeah, hey,
November, dude.
well,
Yours are.
Hey, I can't grow it quite yet.
All right. Well, what about Adrian? I mean, you're violent on the field. I want to. What makes Adrian Adrian? What do you bring to the table every night?
I think what I bring to the table, I think the thing that I mainly bring to the table is how hard I work, and I think it reflects on the younger guys, and when they look up and they see, oh, I want to be just as good as him, or even better, and I think it's just that going along with always being there for my teammates, and if they ever need anything, and helping them out, staying humble, and creating a bond with them. So I think that's probably what I bring to the table, just having a good relationship with the team and always just working hard and being very physical.
I'm going to throw an extra question. It's not on here on my list here, but I'm going to ask you, Luke, who was the player that when you were a younger guy that has been in this program that you were kind of the Luke Falwell that maybe a guy like Jaden Taylor looks up to or someone like that? Who was the guy in our program that you kind of looked to when you were young for advice and kind of pushed you to be that player?
I'd say there's a lot of them, but I'd say Jake Tucker. He was the guy, he always welcomed me. He knew my sophomore year that I had a chance to help the team out. So, he pushed me in morning workouts. I mean, we just got close as friends. And I still keep in touch with him now that he's at Emporia. He's playing ball over there in college.
They need to get you.
Wow.
Somebody needs to get you.
They need to get Adrian too.
That'd be nice.
But probably Jake Tucker. Yeah, he's a big role model of mine.
Adrian?
I have two, man. So I think big role models were I think definitely Cody Abston, man. He taught me a lot when I first got down to the D line, and he taught me everything really, and taught me what to do and how to do it. And then my sophomore, when I was a freshman, learning linebacker still, it was definitely Jake Tucker. He taught me everything, and he was a really good guy. He wasn't mean about anything. He was real cool. If you had any questions, he'd always be real nice and help you out always. So it's definitely him too.
All right, that's cool stuff, and congrats to those guys. That's a good compliment when your boys compliment you. Those are the ultimate compliments. Coach B, just wrapping this thing up. Off season, we talked about this before on some interviews, but you had some questions. We talked about a little bit the offensive line, the defensive line, those defensive unit really, and how that's just been answered. Talk a little bit about those question marks you had, and could you imagine where you're at now compared to the summer, thinking how are we going to block and how are we going to do things?
No. You can imagine. Well, it is. Everybody asks me every year, you guys all want to know, what are you going to be like? What are you going to be? Well, I don't know. I don't know until somebody hits us in the mouth what we're going to be like. And I knew we had a chance. I loved the wintertime last year, the off season. I didn't have to beg people to come to the weight room and call them and check up. These guys were there. The seniors were holding the young ones accountable. And the senior class, there's 22 of them. I mean, and they have been steady for 4 years, and very, very proud of that. But it's just been a work in progress, Coach. I think as much as putting all that together, I mean, you talk about putting the staff back together too. I mean, Coach Warren retires, who's been with me since my second year here. We spent 10 years together. And then I'd been doing the offense for 11 years here, or 10 years here, sorry. And so starting there and starting to put those things together, and then some guys that grew up that you haven't heard about before are out there playing on Friday nights.
Sure.
Guys like right tackle sophomore Gavin Hines. I mean, Gavin's grown up a bunch.
Oh yeah.
And a year ago, these guys had to push him to get him to do stuff.
Yep.
And he's taken a step forward each week. Eli Clark. I mean, he hadn't started down for us before. He's been steady at guard. I mean, we knew what Mikey was. I didn't really know about Ryan other than Ryan Morales snaps the ball really good, and he's funny and he has lots of jokes. But still,
somebody's got to keep that unit alive.
Well, they're more than that. I'll tell you, he does that. But he's played really steady. I knew what Whitey was. I knew what Mikey was. I wasn't sure who those other guys were going to be, and there was about 6 of them. And I think the key for us, though, is competition.
Yeah.
There were about 6 guys fighting for those 3 spots, and they've had to fight. And the good part about it is the ones that weren't on the offensive line or the defensive line, they just were interchangeable. So guys like Bake on defensive line, Nick Wright, GSR, all those guys that played D-line that may not play offense, and those guys not having to play both sides of the ball, and these guys not having to play both sides of the ball. Those are things we haven't been fortunate enough to have in the past. We've had a lot of guys playing both ways, and just the health of our team right now, how fresh they are at practice, everything. I think that competition has helped us. And like these guys said, you want to talk about competition? Go watch one-on-one pass rush, or go watch one-on-one DB wide receiver. It's as good as we've ever had. And to this day, they're wearing each other out in practice, just trying to get better. And if you have competition in practice, you have a chance to improve every week. And we've had that all year long. Every week, we've gotten better at something. And listen, something that's not talked about much is what a dang good job Garrett Ogg's done kicking the ball off for us. We've had more balls kicked into the end zone where these guys get to go out and force someone to drive the entire field on us. That's a huge thing, especially in the Blanchard game. You don't want to kick to number 1 very often if you don't have to. And Garrett put that ball in the end zone. So everybody's got a role. Everybody's improved. They still love coming to work. Coach Shute made the comment the other day we came in. He goes, Coach, it's week 10 and those guys are out there joking around with each other in the middle of our long practice. He goes, I freaking love this. You know, and I said, I know. I'm spoiled because our guys they take care of their business.
It's awesome. Yeah.
So,
well, and every team that I've coached that's been really successful has been the players have led the way, and you get to just coach the sport. And just from up here in the third deck watching down, you guys have a lot of fun. Luke, Adrian, you guys have a ton of fun. It looks like. You win games. That's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to win too.
Yeah.
But you guys are responsible, and responsibility makes you grow up a lot, I think. And I think you guys have taken on that responsibility, and I think that's been the product that you've seen in the field. So hats off to both of you, and thanks for joining us tonight on the playoff preview show. We're going to try to do this again next Wednesday. 5:30. We'll try to tune back in. Any final thoughts for the crowd? We got any special shout outs, or do you want to
shout out to my mom? Love them. Shout out to my dad. Love you. Yeah.
I'll shout out my parents as well.
They did everything for me.
Yeah. I'll shout out my grandparents. I'll shout out my Uncle Bill and all the people that come to my games.
Yeah,
I'll shout out all the people that come to my games. I appreciate it. And my teammates.
Yeah.
All those boys.
Love your teammates.
Yeah. We need to get all of them in here.
Yeah,
the whole team. The whole
Yeah.
starting 11.
you got to turn those
22.
mics way down.
Don't let CJ get them.
No.
Coach B, any final thoughts?
I just, I challenged these guys about 5 weeks ago. I can't remember if it was a Sunday meeting or a Monday meeting to embrace every moment and love every moment of what you're doing right now. It doesn't get any better than this, and I think they've really done that. I've seen them embrace every moment and each other as teammates and friends, and it does my heart good. I love turning your guys' interviews on after the game and hearing these guys talk. It makes me feel good, and I'm just happy that they get to experience these things. So hope we have a good crowd. Man, we're going to go out there and play our guts out and see what happens. We'll be aggressive and we'll be ready to roll.
Well, I'll say this last thing. You need to come out. These guys have earned it. They're 10-0. They've been working since July, May, if you want to call it that, spring ball. So make your way out to this Friday, Chad Richardson Family Stadium, 7 p.m. We'll kick off against the Elk City Elks. You need to be here in town. It's $10 out the gate, cash, $8.20 on GoFan. If you pay cash, $3 of that goes back into the athletic department. So hope to see you Friday night. Thanks for joining us on the playoff preview show here on Tiger TV.